Coach, just how do you kind of, in these first bowl practices, prepare when you don't really know who you're playing? I know there's all the stuff online. You maybe have an idea of who it might be, but how do you kind of prepare when you don't have a set opponent yet?
Well, I think the biggest thing is you just focus on us. And we're focused a lot on the young guys. It was a good week to step back on the field today, get those older guys about 5 days off, get them a couple recovery lifts, and getting their bodies back after a long 12-game season. So I know there's a lot of guys out there that just kind of went through some indie, and we put them off to the side. So it's learning, again, for a lot of young guys, and great reps for the young offensive line today. Great learns out there, good, bad, and different. Rashad McKenzie was as good and disruptive for a young guy I've seen in a long time. So it's just remembering those guys, hey, we're here to play football. They just made it through what I always say is the hardest 6 months of their college career, that first 6 months, that scout team, and now to get back going some good on good and getting coached and seeing themselves on film. That'll be the focus of the next couple of days, and then it might be a really fast turnaround, one I've never been a part of.
Just had Brennan in here a little bit ago. He said his plan to come back for a 6th year. In an era where you never know and everything's always seemingly in motion, how much is that maybe a bit of a sigh of relief that you don't have to maybe worry about where he's going and then he's going to be here next year?
I don't even know if sigh of relief is the word. I think it's like celebration, popping corks and celebrating a guy like that and a staple of your program, and a guy that's just such a leader and has done so much here. And, meeting with him, meeting with his family, they're so invested. He's doing it for the right reasons. Young people are under immense pressure. The portal, the leaving, the money, the grass is greener somewhere else. I mean, there's so much pressure on these kids. And this is the system that we've created, and to have someone put a stake in the ground, say, I want to be here, is really important. I value it here. It's really important. Finishing what I started is really important. There will be roster turnover, right? We know that. We've planned for that. We know that, we have to get better, and there's strides that we have to make. So to have a guy like that to say, hey, this is my team, and let's reestablish and let's go do this thing again is just so powerful for a team.
No, it's still early and you still have a couple weeks until it. Anyone you don't expect to have for the bowl game right now besides obviously Jack Wilson?
I'm proud of Jack. This is something that's been in the works for a little bit. When Coach Smith kind of approached me about it, and then we approached Jack about it, you should saw the smile on his face, because he's going to go there with so much more confidence than the last time he played basketball. That's what football did for Jack Wilson. You talked to him about it. He's so appreciative about the opportunity. Renard will not be back. We just can't get him to that point, and I don't think he wants to, have a chance to risk an injury for his future and what he's doing. But I think most of those guys are ready to go.
How about Armani Marsh? Is expecting him to be back?
I do. He didn't go today. He's off finally running and getting to a point where we wanted to get it there. He wants to get it there. I mean, there's a huge desire for him to go out and finish. Because remember, this bowl game is a reward. It isn't strain. It's a reward for a team that went out and earned something, especially for these seniors, and especially for a guy that missed his last game as a senior here at Martin Stadium. So I think Armani is more driven than ever to get back, and I'm putting my chips that he's going to be out there.
I don't know how much you can talk about the reports of Eric Morris, being a candidate for the Texas State, but coaches, even in first-year staff, how much do you kind of encourage them to chase opportunities like that if they're presented them?
I think it's a unique perspective, Colton, because I always go back to putting myself in those shoes, right? I want what's best for them and their family, and I want what's best for all of us, right? And growth is part of that. So to have an opportunity to be a head coach at an FBS level is a special opportunity, okay? And there's a lot of emotions tied to that, right? But I fully support him and our coaches in their growth. My job is to develop them too, to just kind of be selfish and you're always going to be here and you can never go. That's not the type of atmosphere that I want to create either, right? But I do want their family to say, wow, I'm so valued here. I love it here. I want to feel like it's the right opportunity for me, so sometimes Pullman, Washington State can be hard. We want to create an atmosphere where it's not hard and it's enjoyable and people love being here. So I know that was part of it. I think everything's got to be at the right time and the right place, and that potentially was for him, and really excited that he's going to be our leader of offense going forward.
Can you just talk about RJ and how that came about, him getting that media thing? Did they just reach out to him? And obviously they probably heard about his character.
Well, I think RJ at Media Days was the star of the show. Through all the teams, through all the coaches. I mean, he outshined me, which is a great thing, right? And that's awesome. It's just his infectious personality, but he really wants to be a broadcaster, okay? So the ace in the hole was Bill Stevens. Okay, Bill has great connections across all media, and we've treated the Pac-12 so well and been connected that, we made a call and we pitched an idea, and one that they could choose to do or not do, and we thought it was inventive to have someone that played against these two teams, a unique perspective, a unique and great personality, and a great ambassador to get our program out there as well, I think is a special, special opportunity. But what I told the team is that we're always looking for these opportunities for people. Whether you want to be a cop and a police ride-along, whether you want to be an educator getting in the schools. There's a lot of opportunities and things you can do right here for Pullman, Washington and Washington State, and proud of RJ. And I wonder if he's a little nervous. I don't know if he's been nervous doing things in his life. So excited for him, and I think it'll be a unique opportunity.
Kind of a general deal, but rounding up all film and everything you learned about your team this season, leading up to the bowl game, what do you think is the priority right now to clean up, and where do you feel most comfortable, or what maybe made you most proud about how your team performed this year?
It's not ever, looking back from the coach's standpoint, ever always what you want, right? But I'm very satisfied, with the team and how we did and the mentality. And more importantly, there's a foundation that needed to be laid. Okay, we came into a little bit of quicksand and we had to firm it up. And that was since January, and that's the credit to the players. I've said it a million times, this is a players-led team. So I've taken the last 4 days and I've met with every player in our roster, getting feedback, things that I can do better, ways we can improve the program. Because when you experience the program and you enjoy it, you want to give to it. And I think those are things I want to make sure our players have ownership. And I'm hearing from them. I hear from the captains, I've heard from the leadership council, but now everybody, freshmen on up through seniors that are exiting. So we have candid conversations and we learn and grow from those things. So I think for year one, there was a lot of success. I'm proud of maximizing this team as we continue to build for the future. And that is what it is. I've sat down here millions of times and said, this is something that we're building. But in order to build, you got to create a foundation. Okay, and I think many people think of it as year one. It's almost year zero, right? Reestablishing ourselves and who we are. Our first real recruiting class will be signed here in a couple weeks. So really, really excited about where we're going and doing it with the right people that want to be in that room.
Coach, can you just talk about some of the changes in the strength staff? Noticed Coach Bradshaw yesterday kind of tweeted his departure from Wazoo and kind of where are things headed in that regard?
Well, I think the biggest thing is I really appreciate Dwayne and all his hard work. His character, his work ethic, and what he poured into our guys was never a question. It wasn't. And he built real relationships that I think are really special. And he's served us through a hard 3-year span and kept us together in those things. I just think there is a developmental piece that'll be always the most important thing to our program. Okay, and I think that's just where we fell a little bit short, and we need to grow. The strength, size, and development is everything. So I really believe your strength and conditioning coach is your most important hire in the program. So we're going to take time. We're going to do it right. A lot of people that are interested in this position and doing it at a good place and doing it the tough way. Okay, we got to create tough people, and it starts there. And the discipline and standard needs to be extremely high. That doesn't mean it's a miserable place to be, okay? But it means when you walk through those doors, there's a standard of the way we need to operate. And that's what I'm excited about going forward, is putting that stamp on our program, because development is everything. Then retention is everything, okay? So that'll be the name of our program as we keep trying to build it and doing it the right way here.